What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. Just a duo today, Papa Dude and I, as Somich is traveling. But don't worry, Somich did send in a pick. Papa Dude, are you ready to rock and roll?
Let's get this going. Right before the snow comes in later on tonight and early tomorrow, I think. Don't know about the snow, but man, as Shotty says, it is going to be cold in this part of the country.
Yeah, Shawty's right. She lives about an hour and a half, depending on where you're at here from us, down south a little bit, but still, yeah, very, very cold. Without a doubt, it's going to be a very cold week. All right, let's get it going. Let's jump right into Somich's best bet because we're going to talk about the bowl game first, and his best bet does come from that. Somich is going to take South Alabama today minus the 3.5. So South Alabama minus 3.5 for Somich. Do you agree? I don't think you do. Don't you have Western Kentucky in this spot?
I went back and changed it after I did some research.
Okay.
Today, there's injuries on the – actually, it's not injuries. I think transfers on the Western Kentucky team on the offensive line that I think is going to hurt them after I went back and read it. South Alabama, I got to look into. They have lost only 2, but by a combined 7 points. They play in the better conference. We saw that the other day work out. And so I did go back and change it after I did some research. Western Kentucky is historically very, very good on offense. They're not quite as good this year. So I'm not sure South Alabama's ever won a bowl game. I'm not sure on that. Do you remember them ever winning a bowl game?
I couldn't tell you without looking it up. I know they've been in a couple of them. I'd say I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I don't remember.
Yeah. So I think they got the more incentive to win. So I went back and changed my pick. So, but it's a little iffy. I wouldn't have made it my best bet, but I don't know how Mike, I don't know what his reasoning is. Did he tell you?
He did not give me a reason. He just said, give me South Alabama minus 3.5. Like I said, he's on the road. He should not be texting at all, but he did. So, but he is driving. So stop texting and driving, Somich. By the way, while you were talking, I looked it up. South Alabama 0-2 in bowl games.
So I think, this could be their best. This is probably the best Division I team they've had. Because I don't think they've been Division I very long. 3 or 4 years probably at the most. So this is probably the best team they've had. I think they have the extra incentive, and that's why I went back and changed the bet.
Just real quick, the Camellia Bowl was their first bowl ever, and they lost to Bowling Green 33-28. And then they were in the Arizona Bowl in 2016, and they lost to Air Force 45-21.
So they have been D1 longer than I thought. So
I think they've been D1 since about 2010, maybe.
Okay, I didn't think so, but
that would be a total guess on my part, though. I really don't know, but yeah, 0-2. You were right about that. Listen, it's a good spot for them. 3.5 point favorite seems about right. Yeah. That 0.5, that could be the difference in this one, but I think it's a pretty good bet. I picked South Alabama as well. So I guess I'm kind of with you. I don't know. I thought about making the best bet. Don't know if it is best bet worthy or not. Yeah. But it makes sense. It makes sense in this one for Somich. All right. Let's go over to the NBA real quick. I wanted to talk about one game that really kind of stood out to me. Portland goes into Oklahoma City tonight, and Portland is a 3.5 point favorite. However, the Thunder have been tough on teams. Who did you take in this Portland-Oklahoma City matchup tonight?
Well, we're seeing this in the NBA, but we're having these back-to-back games on the road, and here's another one. They played Portland just the other night and beat them in OKC, and now they turn right around 2 days later. It's about, the third or fourth example we've had of this in the NBA. I don't think they can beat them 2 times in a row. So I picked Portland tonight to get back at them. I think the spread was 4. I don't know that I would bet the Thunder. They're playing people close, really close. This is a team has a lot of character. They've got a really good player in their guard that shoots the ball very well. You better watch the Thunder in the next couple of years. They got a horrible break this year when the number 1 draft pick, kid out of Gonzaga, tore his ankle, knee, something in preseason, didn't get to play. This is a team that probably would be have a real good chance at that 8, 9, 10 slot in the playoffs if they had him, because they're playing pretty well without him.
Yeah, I agree, and you're right. I think they'd be a playoff team if they had him. They're 13 and 18, but like you said, man, they have played teams close. They've lost some close games. They're getting better. I would keep an eye out for them.
Yep.
Sylvain says he loves the Knicks tonight. More on that in a minute, Sylvain. We'll get to the Knicks here in just a second when we talk about Papa Dude's bet. One last game in the NBA I do want to talk about. I forgot to mention it. The Bucks and the Cavaliers tonight. I thought this was a really good game. The Cavaliers, a 2-point favorite here at home against the Bucks. I went with the Bucks. Where'd you go?
Well, I went with the home team, but I can see why you would go with the Bucks. That's hard to bet against them, especially when they're the underdog. So, you get the Bucks as an underdog. You don't get that very often. Mm-hmm. I just went with Cleveland at home. This is the feature game of the night in the NBA. It'll really be a good one. Playoff, what's the word? Preview.
Yes.
Yeah. And it'll be a really good game. I'm assuming that's probably on ESPN or TNT or somewhere tonight. So I'm going to sit around the fire and pick out some sports to watch tonight. That's for sure. This will be one. My trigger finger will be going all over the place tonight, flipping around channels.
Yeah, this will be a good game for sure. By the way, I took the Thunder in that other game as well.
Did you?
Yeah, plus money. Why not? Take a shot.
True.
Plus, I'm a homer. I'm a Thunder fan. So
I hate to root against them too. So,
well, you mentioned TNT, and the big game on TNT actually is hockey tonight, and it's the Oilers and the Stars. I thought this was the best game in hockey tonight. Edmonton goes on the road to take on the Stars. Dallas is at minus 145 right now. A lot of games that kind of have a big spreads here. This one does not. What do you think? Dallas is pretty hot, but Edmonton always dangerous. Who do you like, Stars or Oilers tonight?
Yeah, I started to kind of add this to a parlay, but I thought, I was going to take Dallas. I can't do that because Edmonton's too dangerous. They can get on a roll, and McDavid and what's it, Dreisaitl or whatever his name is.
Dreisaitl, yep.
Yeah, I mean, those guys can put the puck in the net, and they're a little inconsistent because they don't have good goaltending. Dallas is very, very steady. They're one of those teams that they're not you watch them and you're thinking, well, they're not really playing very well. And the next thing you know, they're ahead 3-1 and they win. They're just solid all over the ice. I don't like them, but I admire them a lot. So I was a little afraid of it tonight because with Edmonton, you just don't know what they're going to do. They're one of those teams that just some nights they play really, really well. And other nights they don't. And it's because of their shaky goaltending situation. They don't ever know for sure what kind of goaltending they're going to get. This should be a good one. The other one I like too, that I thought was really a good game tonight, are the Devils at the Panthers. And the Devils are fading, as a lot of us thought they would. And the Panthers are just struggling. They're just struggling. They can't really get it going. They can't get on a roll. Huge game, I feel, tonight for the Panthers. They're at home. They need that one tonight.
Stay tuned. That's going to be part of my best bet.
Oh, okay. Stay
tuned for that one.
Okay.
You mentioned this. It's hard. I'm with you. I was like, yeah, the Stars, that's a pretty good team, but it's like, yeah, those Oilers are tough. They can beat you, especially if you're not quite ready to go. Listen, you mentioned it. If you want to see star players that can score, this is a game to watch. Connor McDavid, 28 goals. Yeah. How about Jason Robertson for the Stars? Doesn't get talked about a lot.
No.
He has 24 goals.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
You could also, if you want to watch another star, Khalil Kaprizov for Minnesota tonight. He has 19 goals. He's on the ice tonight against the Ducks. So, great players all the way around.
The other game tonight that's kind of interesting, Detroit and who are they playing?
Detroit and Tampa right now.
Right.
Tampa is a 150 or minus 150, but they're at Detroit. So if you're looking for a plus money game, that one's interesting.
Because the thing is, Tampa played last night, so their goalie won't play tonight, and they're susceptible to getting beat when he doesn't play. And they're coming off a loss where they didn't play very well last night as well. And Detroit's due for a win. So you're right.
Yeah, I kind of looked at it at two games where the plus money made sense. Detroit was one for sure. as an underdog at home. They played pretty well against Washington a couple nights ago. I think if they play that well, they've got a shot. I kind of like the Oilers at plus money tonight as well.
Me
So
too.
Again, it's like last night. It was really tough to find a plus money game. Pretty much all the home teams won. Tonight, it's kind of the same. A lot of mismatches, but those are two where you might be able to take a shot with. So
The other one is crazy because Minnesota plays the Blackhawks, right?
no, Minnesota's at Anaheim tonight.
Okay, who plays the Blackhawks?
The Predators are at Chicago.
Okay, now that's another one.
Yeah.
That you could look at simply because the Blackhawks haven't won a game since Halloween. I don't think it's been a long time.
Been a long time, yeah.
And Nashville's not playing very well. And I don't care who you are, you're going to win a game sooner or later. So that's one I kind of looked at as maybe an upset. Minnesota is the sure thing right at the moment. They are just rolling. And we knew they were going to once they got their goaltending situation straightened out and they can put the puck in the net. And I tell you, they're dangerous. They are very dangerous right now.
Yeah, I agree. I love Minnesota. I talked about them a couple shows ago, maybe been a week or two ago. I talked about them and how I think if you're betting like a future wager on the Stanley Cup, get them now because I think the price was there. I think Somich said they're 15 or 20 to 1. Yeah. So yeah, I would do that. All right, let's go to the best bets. Let's wrap this thing up. Not a ton to talk about today. Be a little bit longer show tomorrow with the NFL being back, but let's go to the bets. We'll go to you first, Papa Dude. You're going to go with a basketball parlay with the college basketball and the NBA. Let us know.
Well, we need to have a good week. So I searched around to try to find something that would make us some money that makes sense. But at the same time, this is a toughie. This is a really hard parlay to nail tonight. We'll start with the NBA one because Sylvain mentioned it. There's odds going against odds here tonight that scare me, Sylvain. The Knicks have won 8 straight. Okay, they played last night and they killed Golden State. They just slaughtered them, 132-94.
Yep.
They won 8 in a row. The odds are they're going to lose a game. You know, it's just hard to keep winning night in and night out in the NBA. You're coming off a back-to-back where you beat a Golden State team and you hammered them. And tonight, you got a Toronto team that's coming in that's lost 6 in a row. So the odds are they're going to win a game. So that's the issue with here. I think the Knicks are much better. The Knicks are playing better than anybody in the league right now. But if you're a law of averages, guys like me, you kind of hesitate a little bit. You got a team's won 8 in a row against a team that's lost 6 in a row. Those odds are, the law of averages are going to catch up with you. But I went ahead and went with the Knicks because there's a lot of injuries on the Toronto side, and some key players are out. And they're coming off a tough game Monday night where they lost in overtime to the Sixers. If the Knicks play like they've been playing, they're going to win this game. Yeah. And so I'm banking on them coming out tonight after that Golden State team and just continuing the way they played. The other game I considered, and I went back and forth, where the Bulls were at the Hawks tonight. And again, you have a Bulls team that's reeling. They're not playing very well. They got issues in the locker room. They got problems. But the Hawks do too. And I struggle betting the Hawks. They scare me because some nights they play well and sometimes they don't.
They're very inconsistent.
Yes. So I went with the more consistent Knicks team tonight. The big one is the college game. And we got a team from the Big 12 conference that is arguably the best conference in basketball. Mm-hmm. And they don't get a lot of, recognition because they're in this part of the country. But I'm telling you, if you look at the records of these teams in the Big 12, they're nails. There's no bad teams in the Big 12. Oklahoma State has the best record, and they're 9-4. And they aren't bad. And they can beat anybody in the country in Stillwater. So TCU is on a roll. They've won 7 straight. The issue with them is they haven't played a road game. This is their first road game. They are very, very tough. They're well coached. Their defense is nails. It's there every night. That plays well on the road, and I like them a lot. They have 2 very good wins over Iowa and Providence, which are 2 really good teams. They're going to Utah, and it's tough to win in Salt Lake City, and Utah's good. Now, they've lost 3 games to Sam Houston, which is one of the better mid-major teams. They lost to BYU, and they lost to Mississippi State, which was undefeated until you nailed it last night, and Drake beat them. So those aren't bad losses at all, but they're coming off a loss to BYU where they didn't play very good, and BYU's not very good. They do have a big win over Arizona. That is a big win. So it's a true toss-up tonight. I'm going to go with the team that plays the best defense, that's tough. I think TCU is going to get it done on the road tonight. If we can get this one home, we're going to make some money, and that's why I went with it.
That's the biggest thing. The plus 238 is it's kind of hard to pass it up, and especially if you have that opinion about TCU. I think that's good, and I think to transition, that was my best bet, or why I chose my best bet as well, because the price was there, and I'll just go ahead and throw it up now. Florida Panthers minus a goal and a half tonight. You mentioned it; they're struggling. So's New Jersey. But plus 175 on this was too much to pass up for me. Here's why. I think the Panthers, if they win the game, will beat them by more than one. I think if it's a 1-goal game, that favors New Jersey. A 2-goal or more game, I think the Panthers, it favors them big time. I think they win this game by more than a goal and a half tonight. A couple of things. They played just a few nights ago on December 17th. And it was at New Jersey, and Florida beat them 4-2. We'll take that tonight. If we get 4-2 tonight, we're getting plus 175. Yep. The other thing is, you talk about the Panthers; they're struggling. However, they're kind of win one, lose one. The Devils have lost 6 in a row.
Yeah,
and you know what their biggest problem has been? They have not been scoring. That's bad news, because the one thing the Panthers have been doing is scoring. They haven't had great goaltending a lot of their games, or great defense, either one. If the Panthers put the puck in the net 4 times tonight, I think this is going to cash. And that's kind of where I lean. Like I said, the Devils, they were scoring a lot. Now they're not. I lean towards the Panthers. What do you think about that one?
I love it. I almost took them on the money line. But I really like the Panthers tonight. I just think the Devils are collapsing. If the game was in New Jersey, maybe. Mm-hmm. But as you said, Florida thumped them the other night in New Jersey. I'm waiting for the Panthers to get on a roll. This will be a good start for them. So I'm with you tonight. I like our bets. We're trying to catch up a little bit on the year, so we went for some prices tonight to see if we can get them home.
Yeah, if you want to bet on the money line, the Panthers are minus 140. And that's not a horrible bet. I just wanted to kind of juice up the value of that, try to get up to plus 175. And again, it's kind of my strong opinion of this is if the Panthers win the game, they're going to win by more than a goal. And that's where I kind of landed on the Panthers playing that playing the minus 1.5 goals with plus 175.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet just the money line, but I was talking about maybe throwing it in as the parlay.
Right. Yeah. And I messed with like maybe a Panthers and, Nashville, but it's like, I don't trust Nashville. And then some of the other games, it's hard to parlay in the NHL.
Yeah, they're too one-sided. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause like at Colorado's minus 285 and the Wild are minus 305 and Vegas minus 305. You can't mess with those games.
No.
Even to the point where if you bet a minus a goal and a half, you're still getting minus money. You're getting minus 125 or something like that. So it's not worth it to do it. So
exactly.
That's why I landed on in the NHL. The Panthers game I do think is a little bit mispriced. I think it should be minus 180 or so. So take that for what it's worth too. I think all the other games are pretty much right where I would put them tonight.
Yeah, the Colorado game may be a little too high.
If you wanted to take a real flyer with the Canadians tonight, I wouldn't hate it. Yeah. Because Colorado has not been playing great. They're better than Montreal, though.
Exactly. I couldn't bet it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I can't. And I've used Montreal on this show some as a plus money team because they still. I don't think they're as bad as what Vegas really thinks. But tonight in Colorado's tough. That's the thing. That's a tough matchup for them.
Yeah.
All right, let's review the best bets and let's get out of here for today. By the way, only 2 more shows after today for the year. We're going to take the next week off, but we will be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. The best bets for the day, Papa Dude going TCU +1 and the Knicks money line parlay +238 there. I'm going to go Florida Panthers minus the goal and half tonight +175. And Somich will take South Alabama tonight, trying to get that first bowl win ever for South Alabama. They're -3.5. All right, obviously, this is the start of a new week, so 0-0 this week. We're -$759 for the year. It's sad because we were up like 2,000 at one time, but with a 3-0 night tonight, we've got a shot to get back over, but it's going to be tough. We'll see if we can go 3-0. All right, guys, that's all the time we've got for today. We'll be right back here tomorrow, same time. See you guys.